Hi everyone, this is John Paget on the PT side. So welcome. I guess we've hit the button. So here we go. So thanks everybody for taking time this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. Just so you're aware, as we roll out Studio PT, before I introduce Lee, everybody on the line today is an existing PT client. So it's kind of a select group that we've invited. So thanks again so much for taking the time as we go forward here. So let me just explain a little bit of background before I introduce Lee. So over the last few years, we've had a number of people ask us about opportunities for content creation, somewhat of that social media management side of things, in part because they've watched what we've been doing creation-wise and some of the things we do with videos, et cetera. I think also in part because they're struggling to find some answers to it that are appropriate and tie in specifically with the insurance space and financial services side of things. So with that backdrop, Lee is new to you, but she's not new to PT. You've actually been seeing her material for the last 2 to 3 years as she's been working with us on everything from white papers to blog posts to PT Ask Dan, if you've caught some of those pieces as well. And the big thing for us as we venture down the road of now offering these services beyond just doing it in-house ourselves is having that expert in play. And that's really where Lee comes in and is a full-time participant now on the PT side specifically. Not to steal her thunder, I'll let her do more of her background on things, but very excited about the offering that we're going to share with you today and start to get the ball rolling. And so I guess without further ado, Lee, why don't you take over and tell them a little bit about yourself and how we're going to go about Studio PT.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. And I'm very excited to talk about Studio PT today. I feel as though I have been kind of living and breathing it for the last couple of weeks. So it's as if we are putting it out into the world today. So as John said, I wanted to share a little bit about myself. I have been working in the communications and marketing field for about 30 years. Um, my previous job, I was the vice president of marketing and communications for the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. And that's an economic and community development organization designed to enhance life in Pittsburgh. In addition to typical development activities, we did a lot of really fun things to encourage people to come into downtown. And that included everything from Picklesburg, which is a 3-day specialty food festival. It was voted by the readers of USA Today as the #1 specialty food festival in the country for 3 years. It attracts about 250,000 people. And I had the real great honor of helping to name it, helping to promote it. It kind of blew up in Pittsburgh. We love it here. But I also had the opportunity to promote it on Good Morning America, on CBS's morning show and the Today Show, as well as in about 350 different outlets around the country. So I've had a ton of experience with marketing unique and interesting things, but also in that job, I wrote annual reports. I managed 5 different drip campaigns that went at least monthly, some as often as weekly. And I also wrote annual reports and research reports about the state of economics in downtown. As John mentioned, I've been doing a lot of different types of content creation here for PT for the last few years, as well as for some other businesses and companies in Pittsburgh and around the United States. And I'm very excited to have the opportunity to bring my talents here. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I do want to mention, feel free to drop any questions into the Q&A there. We'll talk about that later. And with that said, let's take this away. I want to start off by talking about specifically what is content marketing. Make sure we're all on the same page about what this is. It is essentially a marketing strategy that uses a wide variety of platforms. You can see the ones that I have listed out here. This is really, in a lot of ways, just the tip of the iceberg. But it is a strategy that allows you to kind of grow, but also retain your audiences and your clients. If you take a look at what I have listed there, PT does a little bit of each of these. I don't want you to feel like you have to, but it is an interesting way to integrate and to reach a variety of different markets when you are are building a content marketing strategy to sort of do more than maybe just one thing. What's nice about a lot of these opportunities is that I think they can also really supplement your current calling campaign. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth as we go through some of the services that we're going to offer uh, as Studio PT. I want to talk now about why I think content marketing and why marketers in general believe content marketing is valuable. First of all, it is extremely cost effective. For almost any of those platforms that you saw listed previously, the cost is very minimal to share your content. The cost comes a little bit more into the creation, but I think what we're offering at PT is extraordinarily cost effective, particularly if you were to take a look at maybe an ad agency or something along those lines. The one thing that I do want to caution though is this is a little bit of a longer game. This is something that if you're going to commit to content marketing, we need to take a look at it from a few months. It takes a while to build an audience, to find your audience, to get them engaged. So it's not necessarily an overnight turning on the spigot and, it comes rushing out. However, it is highly, highly effective. Businesses who use content marketing convert 6 times more prospects. So I want you to keep that in mind. We think that long game is certainly worth it. So some of the benefits that we believe you can see from content marketing is kind of developing you to be a thought leader. Now, I want to make sure again when we talk about expectations that we're very clear on this. We're not putting you out there to be Malcolm Gladwell or Brené Brown. What we are suggesting is that you become a trusted expert in your field to the people that you're looking to attract. So we're thinking about your specific audiences, who you would like to see as a client, and what type of content they would find useful, informative, and having you be that person that they turn to look for that content. So that kind of connects very much with that building relationships and trust. We talk a lot at the PT Services Group about the importance of really becoming a trusted advisor, not just a salesperson to the people that you're working with, but someone that they can turn to for advice, for references, referrals, suggestions. And we think content marketing is a really smart place to build those relationships. Lead gen. This is exactly the place where you can work to attract the type of users that you want to convert to clients. We think it's really, really smart. We've already talked just a tiny bit about how content marketing is cost effective. One of the things that I think is very interesting is that it's cost effective, particularly because content is longer lasting. A great example is if you were to decide to run some very targeted ads on LinkedIn, that is a very, very finite period of time, maybe 2 weeks, your ad's running, and then it's gone. However, your content will be available pretty much forever. You have blog posts, people can always find them. I like to talk about our content at PT. Generally, the newer pieces tend to be the most popular, but every now and then, if we take a look at our analytics, we'll see something bubble up that's maybe a year old. And it can be because there's been an event that has happened that people want more information about a specific topic. But the nice piece is that it lives there. You have a body of work that people can refer to. And I think that's a really nice competitive advantage. And that competitive advantage, just going to that piece, I think LinkedIn is the very best place to talk about this. LinkedIn has 900 million plus users. It's a ton of people. 3% of those users are sharing original content. This is a real opportunity for you to set yourself apart from quite likely your competitors who are not doing this. So I think it's in many ways a no-brainer to become engaged in content management. So now let's talk a little bit about what Studio PT is going to offer. We have a wide variety of services that we are excited to talk to you about today. We're going to start with LinkedIn. LinkedIn management is something that we're excited to provide. We would be able to come in and manage your company page and your personal LinkedIn page. To me, LinkedIn is one of the most important pieces of content management that you should be engaged with. It's the #1 social media platform for lead generation. Audiences who see branded messages on LinkedIn, so your content on LinkedIn, are 6 times more likely to convert to clients. We will work with you to create original content posts. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to do a blog post every single week, although we could. But what it means is that Motivation Monday is a really popular hashtag. So maybe on Mondays, we share a piece of advice that's been really helpful to you over the years. We could do employee profiles, getting to know your team profiles. If you're engaged in activities in the community, maybe we'll share photos of those types of events. Now, the other piece, in addition to original content that's very important for LinkedIn is engagement. So you need to be resharing industry news, thought leader pieces, and engaging with other profiles. And we will handle that piece for you as well through your LinkedIn. Prior to us getting started managing your LinkedIn campaign, we will meet and really talk through what you're engaged in your community. Maybe it's your Rotary, your Chamber of Commerce. Make sure that you are following all of those people. In the event that you are engaged in maybe affinity groups or personal interests, we'll also chat about that and make sure that perhaps you're following all of those businesses and people. Will really work to grow your reach through your follow list. We can also offer additional services, which would be managing sponsored posts, ad campaigns, in-mail campaigns. Those are all pieces that have a cost associated to them for LinkedIn. You would be paying LinkedIn to do those pieces, but it's certainly something we'd be happy to help you with. And there may be times when that could be a very effective method for you to market your services. Next is blog content creation. As you know, we create blogs regularly. It's something that we enjoy doing, we like doing, and we would be really excited to do it for you. Businesses that blog receive 126% more leads. That's a lot of leads to harness. And businesses who blog see 71% of consumers who are interested in B2B services, they read blog posts. And I would really want for that to be my blog. I would want to ensure that if they're considering working with me, that they see content that relates to what they're interested in. I want them to come to me. So we would do these social media appropriate posts that would help to point people to your blogs. They'll be about 800 to 1,000 words, which is fairly standard. We would deliver them with great imagery, which means if you need a header for your blog, it will be a branded header with your logo, your contact information. And what's really nice is these blogs can be reused on your LinkedIn, any other social channels that you're active on, and they can be used for drip campaigns or e-newsletter campaigns. So there's a lot of life and longevity that the blog content can develop. Video creation is another piece that we're going to offer. Video continues to expand and grow. It is huge in the field. I'm really excited about being able to offer this to you particularly because this is one of the options where you get to shine. Your personality gets to come through. The clients almost get to meet you, prospects get to meet you before they actually meet you face to face, which is really a nice opportunity because they're more inclined to buy. They know how you think, they know how you work. So you're kind of setting yourself up for a good opportunity. The way that we will do video is that we will create a client branded using your logo, your colors, an intro and an exit or outro video. You will film your own body content. We'll work with you on that. We will help you get comfortable doing that. And if you feel like that's something that maybe you'll never get comfortable with and it won't be a good feature for you, we can also help by potentially finding someone to be a spokesperson, perhaps someone within our company on your behalf. That said, you'll film the body content, provide that to us, and we will edit the video together. So it will have your intro, your body content, and your outro. We'll upload that to your YouTube channel. If you don't have a YouTube channel, we'll help you create one. It's very simple. And again, we will provide the LinkedIn content that you can share to promote those videos. I think it's a really, really solid opportunity. And like I said, I'm very excited about video creation and what it can do for our clients in connecting with prospects. We also are going to offer white paper creations. So white papers, people have been asking a lot lately, are they still popular? They definitely are. They serve a great purpose. For PT, we do 4 white papers a year, and we use them as a lead capture tool, which means on our page, we have a page that we send anyone to that's interested in seeing the white paper. They get a taste of the white paper, but then they have to provide their name and email address in order to receive the full white paper. It's free after that, but we get their name and their content in their contact information. I think it's a great tool. It also really allows you to go very in depth into a topic. Perhaps there's more complex things that you would like to discuss or put information out about, and white papers are a really solid place to do that. We will create these in a way that they are branded to look like your content, your name. We will include infographics, charts, images. They're really beautiful documents. If you haven't seen ours, I really want you to because they're beautiful. And we can work with your web service provider to develop that lead capture page for you on your website if that's something that you would be interested in. We also, as I've mentioned, will help with drip and e-newsletter campaigns, particularly if you're subscribing to PT content creation. If you aren't, but have another aspect of content creation or another source for content, we can also help with that. The drip campaign can be based on any of the content that we help to create for you. Any of those pieces really would make nice content for an e-newsletter. We can design the header, design your images, and help you with that written content. And what's nice about this option is that if you have a CRM that has an e-newsletter feature, we can use it right in your system. However, if you don't, we can also manage it from ours. All you would need to do is provide us with your email lists, and we would load those in, and we can manage it, like I said, from our side of things. One of the reasons why drip campaigns are really a good idea is because when you use custom content that you've created, you see a 26% increase in open rates of emails in a drip campaign. So getting your prospects, your current clients used to receiving these emails, they're going to start to open them more, which is exactly what you want. The more opens you get, the more click-throughs, the more conversions you get. And then lastly, we're going to do quarterly reporting for every client that we work with. We want you to see the results. We want you to see where traffic is going. A lot of the analytics will depend on what services you offer. But for example, LinkedIn and YouTube have wonderful analytics panels. We'll be able to pull great information for you. If we are working within your website, for instance, for your blog, we'll be able to take a look at Google Analytics. And then, of course, any of the drip campaign management systems also have excellent analytics. We will meet with you quarterly. We'll really talk through what are the aspects that are working great with your campaign, what could work better, how we would want to shift things. Maybe we want to spend more resources on video as opposed to blogs. All of those pieces will work with you. And every 3 months, I think, is a good opportunity for us to really talk about and look at it and shift some things. So those are the services that we're offering. We want to be very clear, though, that this does not have to be an exhaustive list. We have a lot of experience. We're really excited to share it with you. And if you have ideas that maybe you haven't seen here, we want to talk to you about them. So next, let's talk about what the next steps for Studio PT will be. First of all, website. We have a great website. I believe John is going to put it in the chat for you. Otherwise, it is the ptservicesgroup.com. You will see there is a Studio PT link right in the main menu. Please visit it. One of the great things that I think on the site, in addition to the information that we've talked about so far in terms of the services that we will offer, is we've put together some examples for example insurance company that will show you what this content could look like for you. So please take a look. We have a sample blog post with a sample LinkedIn post that connects with it. We have a sample e-newsletter drip campaign, a sample video, and a sample white paper. So please take a look at those. It will give you a very good idea of what Studio PT is able to do for you. The other place that you could really look for great examples of our work is on the PT website. There is an insights page, and that page has all of the content that we've been creating for the last 8 to 10 years. We know what we're doing. We're good at it. We want to share it with you. Packages and pricing. We want to be very transparent here. The packages we have developed, we think are a good mix of services that will help you to move the needle for your company. We do want to be cognizant of the idea that the bigger the investment, the greater the needle moves because you are visible in more places. But that said, we have everything from opportunities that are a few $100s a month all the way up to kind of the whole kit and caboodle that's taking advantage of all of the services that we're offering. That's more like a $2,500 a month investment. As you are already PT clients, we are really excited to offer you some introductory pricing. We want you to try it out and get excited about it and see some great results. So we're very excited to talk to you about it. We also want you to know that we're really flexible. We have suggested some packages, but I don't think they're the be all end all in terms of how we can work with you. We want to talk with you. We want to understand what your goals are and how the services of Studio PT can really help to meet those goals. So it's fine if it is a slow start to the relationship, perfectly fine. One other thing that I realized as I'm talking through this that I forgot to mention is one of the pieces that I think is the best opportunity to really connect very specifically with your calling campaign is through LinkedIn management. That is an area where we can connect in advance through LinkedIn to some of the prospects that are on your call lists. Getting the opportunity for them to see your name in advance, see your company in advance, I think is very powerful and is something that could really warm up a cold lead. So in general, I think that's a really great opportunity for our clients, and I wanted to mention that. We are absolutely happy to take any questions that you might have. There is a Q&A. I'm going to let John handle that piece, but I do want to mention on the Studio PT website, there is a wealth of ways to connect with me. There is a Calendly option where you can just put time on my calendar if you would like to talk about this in more depth. We're happy to do that. You can email me, whatever makes the most sense for you. We are going to send you this recording today. We're also going to share with you a couple more resources. We'll send you the link to the website. We've also developed a really nice infographic about some of the facts and stats on content marketing, and we'll share that with you as well. With that, I'm going to let John take this back over, and we're going to answer some questions that you may have.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Lee. Do have a couple questions, so give you a chance to catch your breath for a second. First question was a conversation around how customizable it is what we do. The comment is, if we already work with a different firm, can we work with you on the items they do not do?
Absolutely. That we'd be happy to talk with you about that, particularly if you feel like if it's they're creating content and it's good content, but you want the reach to be greater, things along those lines. Absolutely. I have no problem with that at all.
Good stuff. Second question we had is, will the blog post be fully custom to each client as to not hinder SEO, or will blog posts be reused for multiple clients?
That's a great question. They will be reused. However, we don't foresee them being used by 7 people in your market. You will be the only person in your market that will have access to the content that's specific to you. But we can also work with you to customize it enough that it won't hinder the SEO aspect of your website.
Yeah. So those are the only 2 specific questions we have at the moment. And I think that's those types of questions tee up more that one-on-one conversation with you, Lee, to get into those kinds of details, get as granular as somebody wants to get, make sure there's great clarity. But I think the big thing is that customizable, sort of that a la carte fashion where it's appropriate, starting small and growing as you go. All those things we're very flexible with. And so I think that gets us that initial kind of sense or feel for it. But that one-on-one conversation, I think, will help a lot.
Absolutely. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to meet with us today. John, did I miss anything?
No, I think we caught
Good.
everything. We really like to stick to that half hour. We're coming in 5 minutes early to stay on time, so I think that's important too. Please keep an eye out for the various collateral that Lee mentioned, specifically an email with a link to the recording so you have it. And inside of that will also be a link to Lee's calendar. Either shoot her an email back with a preferred time and day, or simply go on the calendar, put on what works for you. Initial conversation, Lee, 30 minutes probably to
Yeah,
get things
I
going.
believe that's
Yeah,
exactly what we have scheduled. If you want longer, we can do longer. Doesn't have to be, but we're happy to talk with you.
good starting point. And the other side is, as you wrap up that conversation with Lee, if she can't give you the pricing right then and there, you'll get it quickly thereafter as she determines it based on what components you're looking for. So, but most likely it'll be able to come out for you in that 30-minute session as well.
Yep. And we have one last question for you. If you have a second to just answer this question, great. Otherwise, we look forward to talking with you. We're excited to get this project moving.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll obviously talk soon and greatly appreciate your time today. Take care.
Bye.